Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing right now. A bully is a bully no matter who they are or where they are. Whether they're online or out there in meat space, that's the real world. If they're a bully, they're a bully. And I've suffered at the mouths and sometimes hands of a bully. Never really was beat up as a kid, and despite my handle being the locker gnome, I was never shoved in a locker. Kind of pushed around a bit, and ultimately, I took it in stride. It didn't bother me past a certain point when I realized that they were the ones with the problem, not me. And as soon as I accepted myself for who I was, not for who they thought I was or who they said I was, really didn't hurt me so much anymore. So I got a top 5 list here, top 5 ways to deal with cyber bullies. And this was submitted by Kyle M, aka For Sale by Poner. That's his handle at live.pirillo.com. That you've probably been a victim of a cyberbully. And I would consider a cyberbully anybody who's just rude and crude and vile and says mean-spirited things. And there are far more cyberbullies out there because the anonymity of the internet. And hell, there are bullies who even have their name associated with their actions, and they're still bullies. A bully is a bully. It's not fun. It's not funny. It's shameful. Absolutely. To the nth degree. So if you find yourself attacking someone else, making them feel ashamed for who they are, stop it. Not cool. There's no quicker way of losing my respect than when you disrespect. I see it happen all the time. I see it in the chat room throughout the day. It's just rude. If you don't have something nice to say, don't say it at all. And if you have something constructive to say, that's fine. But please, be constructive. Don't be cruel. So, as Kyle writes here, I was recently told by someone on Facebook that I was a loser and had no friends, along with many other hurtful comments. I decided to create this list in an attempt to help others deal with those kinds of bullies. Number 1, be mature. How bad would it sound if you responded, "Oh my God, you're the real loser, I hate you"? Instead, you may want to respond, "I'm sorry you feel that way about me, I guess you really don't know me," or something along those lines. That is actually a fantastic response. Being mature with someone who's immature makes them even more immature, at least appear that way, because you're better than that. You're absolutely better than that. There's nothing anybody can say that can make you feel bad. You can make yourself feel bad, and I've certainly been in that position. Now I'm 35 years old, as I turned 35 just yesterday, and there are still times that I have to reflect upon the things that people say, and I have to think about the things that they're saying. In some cases, I may try to help them through the things that they're trying to say. And, a well-constructed argument is a well-constructed argument. But as soon as it boils down to personal attacks and differences of opinion that are shared in an immature fashion, it's time to just stop that particular conversation. It's not going to go anywhere. You can't reason with the unreasonable. Number 2, and this is also a good tactic, don't even respond. If you do respond, it'll just give that bully another thing to find a way to make fun of. Oh, it's absolutely true. I get a lot of email, and some of it negative. I see a lot of negative comments about me on YouTube, par for the course. Or anywhere, really. My name is always brought up anytime someone talks about Tech TV, sometimes positively, sometimes not so positively. And ultimately, I have to decide, well, look, I am who I am. I can accept me for who I am. And I know there are many of you out there, whether you're online and dealing with bullies, or you happen to still be in school and you're dealing with people who are just rude, crude, vile, destructive. You don't need to stoop to their level. And sometimes by not even trying, you're doing yourself a favor and potentially keeping them from coming back and hurting you or trying to hurt you even more. Number 3, block communications. Easier said than done sometimes. There is almost always a way for cyber communication to be block or to block a person or persons. So why keep talking to them? If you have the block feature, use it. Don't let it get you down. You should never let them win by letting them put you down. And understand that they don't mean necessarily what they're saying, and that they're just trying to make themselves feel better. Valid point. Absolutely valid point. They may mean what they're saying, but he's right. They're just trying to make themselves feel better by making you feel worse. No one can make you feel anything. They can try. I mean, they will try. And believe me, it'll never end. I mean, you may think if you're in school right now, or let's say you're hanging out with your friends on Facebook or whatever, you may think it's all in the past. It'll never end. There's always going to be a mean person somewhere who is going to get under your skin or try to get under your skin, and if you just don't let them in, you are the better person. In some circumstances, you may have to confront them. That's his 5th tip. If they're not known to be the kind of person who would physically beat you up, you may want to ask them why they have a problem with you in real life. Because it's so much harder to say mean things about people in real life than it is when they're not talking directly to you. It's true. When someone is in front of a computer, in fact, you've probably been in this situation before, you are not connected directly with another human being. You're connected with a computer. This is an inanimate... Let me try that again. This is an inanimate object. However, on the internet, you are connecting to other people. You may not be thinking about the things you're saying and how they affect other people. Now, you may be having a bad day. Happens to us all. I know, we've all been there. But when you have a habit of berating others that you may not agree with, and you may have agreed with them one time, and suddenly they've done something, now you just want to make them feel so low, you're looking like the jackass. And every single bully on the planet is a jackass. Period. End of story. And I'm talking to you if you've ever been the victim of a bully. Whether you've been a victim of a cyberbully or a bully in real life. Confronting them is the most difficult thing you're ever going to do. And it's counterintuitive. I mean, when I was in high school, the last time I was really well, can't say it was exactly the last time, but really the last time I let it bother me was in high school. It was before the internet, certainly. And I'm not going to name any names, but the guy was taller than me. The guy was just way taller than me. Doesn't take much. I know I'm 5'5". But he would just constantly try to get my goat just by giving me just stare downs. And I just kind of let it roll off my back. Nothing he was going to do. I was just nervous as hell. I was afraid he was really going to take action against me, and I did nothing to him. Nothing. Nothing. He just felt like he could just bully me around. Well, one day, in gym class that we happened to be sharing that semester, one day in gym class, he pushed me from behind. So he was walking one direction, I was running another direction. It was like one of those gym days. As I was running by, he pushed me from behind. I stopped, I turned, and I pushed him from behind. That almost proved to be a monumental, catastrophic, just, I don't know what was going through my head at the time. He had been tormenting me for at least a year at that point. He was with his cronies, at least 7 of them. I was standing alone, and I pushed him from behind. The look in his eye was not just filled with just this seething anger, but part of it, I swear to God, I had to look him in the eye. Part of it, not just beyond the anger, I could actually see in his eyes disbelief that I did that. Because to that point, I ignored it. Didn't confront it. To that point. And if I had to stop and think about it, no way in hell would I have turned around and pushed this guy back. He was built. He was taller. He was with his friends. It was the smartest thing I ever did. From that moment forward, didn't bother me anymore. Every once in a while I may have gotten a glance, but not like before. And believe me, when I turned to confront him, I had my fists up. I would have been pummeled within, I'm sure, inches of my life had it actually come to blows. I would have. But I had to do it. And it was probably one of the hardest things I ever had to do. Standing up to a bully is difficult. And it takes more inner strength than it takes physical strength to do that. If you're a victim of a bully, whether it's a cyber bully or a real bully, know that if you are in the right and you've done no wrong, I will back your play. If you have a great degree of respect for others, I will back your play. But if you're a bully and you're ever rude to me, I may not be able to confront you in person. But believe me, I'm disappointed in you. Can't hurt me anymore. Why? Because I know myself. Do you? Kyle, I really appreciate you passing this along. It's a touchy subject for me, which I'm very glad to be beyond. So glad. I do not envy anybody else in that position. I do understand. My email address is chris@pirillo.com. Maybe you are a repentant bully. A bully who has decided to hang up his or her gloves. Oh, yeah. Feel free to stop by the chat room if you like talking tech. As long as you are respectful to me and others, I would appreciate it. I may not always be here, but we do have a handful of respectful people in here. Hundreds. Very often. Throughout the day. And it's being put together in conjunction with this live video feed. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at live.pirillo.com. We'll see you later.